once a symbol of temptation and knowledge in Eden, the fruit that opened humanity's eyes to their own nature. Though never explicitly named as an apple in Genesis, Western consciousness made it so. Why? Perhaps because its simple form contains perfect symmetry, a kind of knowledge too dangerous to resist. Then it becomes gravity's muse, the falling fruit that revealed universal laws. From divine prohibition to scientific illumination, the apple doesn't just fall, it raises our eyes to the stars. Finally, it morphs into the bite-marked logo of technological revolution. The forbidden fruit of knowledge becomes a gateway to digital enlightenment. Jobs and Wozniak's choice wasn't random. They tapped into deep mythological currents. Now it signifies premium pricing, exclusivity, closed gardens. The fruit of knowledge comes with a warranty and annual upgrades. Eden's walls replaced by ecosystem lock-in. In each incarnation, the apple remains a symbol of knowledge, but the nature of that knowledge shifts. From divine prohibition to scientific law to digital empowerment to consumer identity. Each bite promising a different kind of enlightenment, a different kind of fall. Even its color tells this story. From the red of temptation to the pristine white of technological purity, finally settling into the metallic sheen of modern luxury. Eve's apple, Newton's apple, Job's apple, each promising to change how we see the world, each delivering on that promise in unexpected ways. In Eden, the apple represented the ultimate democratization of knowledge, available to anyone brave enough to reach out and grasp it. One bite granted understanding of good and evil, transforming humans from innocent automatons into conscious beings. The original one click to enlightenment. Newton's apple demonstrated that cosmic laws weren't just for celestial bodies. They governed every falling fruit. It democratized physics, bringing heaven's mechanics down to earth. Knowledge wasn't just for the stars anymore. Apple's early mission, a computer for the rest of us. The bite-marked apple promised to put digital power into everyone's hands. The garage startup challenging IBM's corporate mainframe hegemony. Knowledge escape velocity achieved through personal computing. Eden's apple came with the ultimate price tag, expulsion from paradise. The first instance of knowledge having consequences, of wisdom requiring sacrifice. You could know everything, but you couldn't go back to innocence. Newton's apple led to calculus, to physics, to academic institutions that both preserved and restricted knowledge. The fruit of understanding became wrapped in prerequisite courses and degree requirements. Today's Apple Incorporated presents a perfect paradox, democratizing technology while creating closed ecosystems. The fruit that once represented freedom from IBM's control now represents its own kind of control. Proprietary systems, authorized dealers, licensed developers. This duality isn't just ironic, it's essential. Each form of the apple teaches us that knowledge and control are inseparable twins. The more knowledge we gain, the more we need structures to manage it. Eden's apple didn't just grant knowledge, it necessitated civilization. Apple Incorporated's closed ecosystem enables its innovations. The walls that restrict also protect, allowing experiments in user experience that wouldn't be possible in a completely open system. Each revolution in knowledge access creates new gatekeepers, who in turn inspire new revolutions. The apple keeps getting bitten, and each bite reshapes both the bitten and the biter. Let us wax theatrical about this divine fruit, this orb of delicious deception. Act 1. The garden scene in which our protagonist, a mere piece of fruit, manages to upstage both God and Satan. Rather impressive for something without an equity card. To bite or not a bite? That was Eve's question. Though, darling, we all know there's only one answer when forbidden knowledge comes gift-wrapped in such delicious packaging. Act 2. The Newtonian interlude gravity. Entering stage left. I've been doing this job for eons, and now some falling fruit gets all the credit. Apple, with a smirk. Darling, it's all in the timing. You've been dropping hints for millions of years, but I knew how to make an entrance. Act 3. The Silicon Valley soliloquy Jobs, holding aloft a minimalist logo. Behold, I take this humble fruit and make it both less and more than itself. Critics chorus. But is it not just another golden calf? Jobs? No, no. This one's aluminum. And it comes in rose gold. We've taken the symbol of original sin and turned it into the very badge of originality. A fruit that once tempted humanity with the knowledge of good and evil now tempts us with the knowledge of our screen time statistics. All fruits are equal, but some fruits are more equally priced. The forbidden fruit has become the forbidden ecosystem, a walled garden that promises freedom through constraint, wisdom through limitation, and individuality through uniformity. Stephen Fry might observe, with that delightful twinkle in his eye, that we've managed to create a world where people queue overnight not to steal the forbidden fruit, but to purchase it at markup. The serpent is somewhere taking notes. In Japan, the apple metaphor merges with concepts of the meaningful negative space between things. Their technological gardens don't distinguish between walls and openings. They're the same thing viewed differently. Consider how this might reshape our understanding of digital ecosystems. The Chinese concept of unity of knowledge and action suggests a different model entirely. Knowledge isn't something to be bitten and possessed, but rather experienced through practice. Their digital gardens might emphasize doing over having, process over possession. As quantum computing emerges, our apple splits into superpositions, simultaneously open and closed, controlled and free. Each bite reveals not just one truth, but a spectrum of possibilities. The garden walls become probabilistic, existing in multiple states until observed. As technology becomes more complex, we increasingly hide it behind interfaces as simple and elegant as, well, an apple. The more we know, the more we pretend we don't need to know. African Ubuntu philosophy, I am because we are, suggests a different model of digital knowledge sharing. Instead of single-walled gardens, imagine interconnected orchards where each community cultivates its own unique varieties. Cross-pollination is celebrated, not feared. The walls serve to protect diversity rather than enforce uniformity. Where digital identities are both more secure and more fluid, the apple becomes a key that locks and unlocks simultaneously, protecting privacy while enabling connection. Where ownership and access exist in superposition, the walls of the garden become probabilistic rather than deterministic, creating spaces that are simultaneously open and closed. Where proprietary and open-source models merge into something new, the apple seeds are both protected and freely shared, creating controlled explosions of innovation. Perhaps the ultimate evolution of our apple is to disappear entirely, to become so ubiquitous that it vanishes into the background of our digital lives. The perfect symbol is no symbol at all. Arthur C. Clarke might have noted, any sufficiently advanced apple is indistinguishable from the absence of an apple. As Wilde would remind us, life is far too important a thing ever to talk seriously about it.